Adrianne Lynch with the Lynch team at Conway Real Estate, and I have Joan Marlowe with Peaceful Easy Healing here to join us today. Welcome.
I am once again thrilled to be here.
Well, I can't wait to talk about movement part 2. So what are we talking about today?
Okay. Well, to keep with our current theme of the only thing constant being change, I thought I'd talk about ways to exercise at home rather than going to the gym and going out to classes, because we still haven't been released fully to do all of that. And as you know, we've all made adjustments staying home. And one of the things that I did was I transformed my room. The room we're in right now is my room that I see clients. So typically I do Reiki treatments here, I see coaching clients here, and so on and so forth. But what I decided to do, since I wasn't doing any of that, I thought that I would create this room to become my little movement and exercise room. And so I want to welcome you to another space of my house, and I appreciate you being here. So having moved everything into this one space has really, really helped me, because it's helped me keep moving in my life because it's all in one location. And then, to be honest about this whole thing, I was really surprised as I started gathering pieces and parts of how many pieces of equipment I really had. And along that same way, you know, it'd been scattered all over the house and out of sight, out of mind, because I'm only human as well. And so I have found when it's all here, I am using it and I'm offering myself variety, which I tend to need when I'm exercising, because I get bored really easily. So one of the other pieces was I really found myself chuckling as I reminisced where all these pieces of equipment came from. And how I was reminiscing was all the times that I was either seeing a physical therapist or a personal trainer as they tried to help me heal from some injury that I had sustained, or something that I'd gotten myself into. Because I so believe that we have the power within us to heal, and sometimes we need help. And so if they would suggest something that I'd buy, I would buy it. So right now in another room in my house, I actually have like a mini trampoline that was amazing to help me, because I broke my hip a couple of years ago. And that was an amazing device to help me with strength and balance and whatever else. Who knew? That's a huge who knew. So as I worked with these trainers and physical therapists, the things that I was really trying to build back into my life with that healing was stamina and stability and flexibility and balance, which is really, as you look at what seniors need, those are all the elements that we seniors need to be in place in order to not only fulfill this 150 minutes that the CDC requires us, or is asking us to look at as far as bringing movement, and we talked about that before, in the form of walking, you know, this moderate kind of intensity, walking and hopefully swimming and things of that nature. But we also add on to that something else that's part of that guideline, and that asks that we look at bringing in a minimum of 2 days a week of bringing in something that offers strength training into our lives. And again, strength training is going to help again with this overall fitness. It's also going to help something that, again, especially as seniors, we look to do, is be able to maintain independence. Most of us want to be in our homes as long as we can be. And this is a way that we're going to be doing this. And of course, like with any exercise, it's also something that's going to help us reduce the possibility of ending up with chronic diseases. So that's where we are.
And when we're talking about strength training, are you meaning like they start lifting weights and they're pumping iron, or what type of strength training are you talking about?
I can spell iron. I know what they are, but no, but no, that's not it. But again, it is that kind of action and that kind of movement. But like I've said before, you don't get off of the sofa and run a marathon. You just don't do those things. The same thing holds true when you look at bringing strength training into your life. You know, what are you actually going to be looking at? And again, we're looking at using some physical weights as well as possibly using our own body weight. And yoga is one of those ways that we actually use this resistance training and building stronger bones and muscles through the movements and poses of yoga. And that's just one example. So all of this is, again, to build muscles because we can rebuild, we can condition our muscles, we can also build muscles as we age. That doesn't stop, but we need to help in some way, shape, or form. So after age 50, you lose 1 to 2% of muscle strength per year. Then after 60, you lose 3% of muscle strength a year, which comes out to about 4.5 pounds of muscle strength a year.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, another one of those wows that when you really, and you wonder, why you can't do what you used to do or why you're having difficulty, lifting a 5-pound bag of sugar. Well, the reason is the muscles just aren't firing up the way they used to because we have to help them along. So your strength training, your strength exercises can also help to build bone density, which is also so vitally important for both men and women, but especially for post-menopausal women who are looking at losing up to 2% of bone mass per year. And again, if you don't take care of that, you end up with osteopenia or possibly osteoporosis. So this is a way you can start sort of put a stop to that and help build that bone mass. So once again, I add the disclaimer about saying just be smart whenever you're going to be starting to do something different in your life as far as exercise or movement. Be smart. And again, you know what's going on with your body and respect those things. Also going out to a doctor and simply saying to a doctor, I'm thinking about adding these things into my life. What do you think? Get their feedback, get their okay. Again, look for their advice. They might have some ideas that you haven't thought about before. And that's what they're there for. So please use that as well. And again, keep in mind that some exercise is better than no exercise. And again, you will see an improvement. So for a couple of times a week, what you might want to do to add to what you're already doing with your walking, etc., is, and Adrianne, you talked about this a little bit the other day, some of the exercises is simply getting 2 bottles of water. And when you're walking, you're using the strength, you're using muscles in your arms, as well as extra movement in your hips, etc., to be moving this. And again, water, we're looking at cans. You could use cans. If you have an issue with, if you have arthritis in your hands, you can't hold that way, consider putting a bag, a grocery store bag. Put the item in the grocery store bag and have it hanging from your wrist when you're doing that kind of a swinging. And again, that'll work the same way for you. So there's lots of modifications that you can do. So one of the other things that you might want to do is keep in mind, again, these are little 1-pound cans. So you want to start small and work your way up. If you happen to have, where are they? I also have a set of weights. And so with a set of weights comes a little 1-pound weight that, again, I sometimes use when I'm out walking. The other thing that is an option also is you can go and buy wrist weights or even ankle weights to give you that kind of resistance, which is what we're talking about. And when since we're talking about resistance, the other thing that I have in my little cadre of items is a resistance band.
Love it.
Yeah, no kidding, which is excellent. Again, and these come in a variety of colors that relate to what the level of resistance that they happen to be. And resistance bands are really powerful because they're, again, adding health and wellness to you. So again, a really good way, something that you might want to consider doing, a resistance band is great to help with our posture, because so many of us have become hunched over for any variety of reasons. So one of the exercises automatically that should be done is sitting back, putting those shoulders back, letting the scapula go down the back of your back, and then pull this out as well. Because what's going to be happening is this resistance is forcing those shoulder blades to go together. It's also forcing your chest to be opening. And when you're opening up your chest that way, you're also bringing in more oxygen into those lungs and helping you with that part of the health and the well-being. So some other thoughts about, and again, what you want to do is, if you're using the cans, make sure they're the same size. Also, whatever you do to the right side, you do to the left side, so that's real important as well. Don't favor one over the other, keep them equal. And then what else you might want to do is other weight kind of movements are things like doing push-ups and lunges and squats. But I know over the years as I've taught in senior communities, and they'll say a push-up, oh my God, who's gonna get me up off of the floor? So it always doesn't have to be on the floor. You can use a wall again, is this resistance that's going to hold you. And that's real important to do with squats as well. And keep in mind too, that those kinds of exercises, squats and lunges and push-ups, are all part of our functional training. And again, the term, and that's very popular now. So if you start Googling functional training, you're going to see lots of information, especially for seniors, because we are talking about basic movements that we have to walk up and down stairs, get in and out of chairs, and get on and off the commode. That's important. As well as, in the God forbid case, you fall down, you have to have the strength to get yourself up. Otherwise, you are stuck on the floor.
Right.
So those are just some of the things that we are looking at doing. Again, to help with balance, using a chair, a sturdy chair, and standing behind the chair, and just taking time again to get yourself focused and centered, putting your shoulders back, straightening up, getting your mind in gear, because your mind has to be part of this game, and actually lifting one leg. But while you're lifting the one leg, you aren't concentrating on the one that's lifting. You're focusing on the one that's on the floor. That's your standing leg. Imagine that the bones are being stacked, and then you're going to be lifting the other leg and then putting it down. As you're putting down that foot, think about how you are feeling that solid ground under your foot. And then when you're done with that one sits down on the floor, lift and get again grounded, lift up the other leg, and again, think about it, stack those bones, focus on that standing leg, hold it for a couple of seconds, a couple of breaths, put that foot down again. So that actually mimics the movement of walking. And when you're doing it with your mind involved, your mind is going to gear in, so you are more mindful about when you're actually out walking in the world. It's also helping you with this balance because it's giving you that kind of shifting motion that's going to be helping you with balance as you move forward. So those are some things that we can do.
Yeah, that's great ideas while everyone's on quarantine and in the house.
No kidding. So again, even doing simple marching movements is really good. And again, that will also raise your cardio, which is also something that you want to do. And one reminder is, please make sure you keep breathing. So many of us, when we exercise, we forget to breathe.
Yeah.
So, and that's why it's better off doing it with somebody else, because they can be there going, breathe. Because again, the body knows when you need to breathe, and it works. And again, it's engaging that brain. The more we can be intentional with this brain, the better off that's going to serve us in so many ways.
Absolutely. So where are some resources available that they could get started or keep going with working out at home?
Well, one of the best places, again, I didn't demonstrate this because there isn't enough time to do that in a proper way. I'm giving you suggestions and advice for you to go and explore. Where are you going to go to explore this? The best place on the face of the earth is YouTube. Going to YouTube and putting in that search engine, exercise, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos that are out there for you. And you can pick and choose to determine, look at the background of the person that's doing the video, etc. And you can actually choose them. They've got exercises for seniors from, at the age of over age 50, over age 60, over age 70. That's a really good place to start. If you're interested in these functional exercises, that's a good place to start as well. Looking at doing yoga, Pilates, anything is it's available to you. A good place for yoga. It's Yoga with Adrianne, as a matter of fact. those videos are the greatest. And another area to go when you are in that YouTube search area is search Silver Sneakers. Silver Sneakers right now is open for everybody. And their videos are amazing. They'll give you the link to go to their Facebook pages, and that'll be a really good place for you to get started.
Oh, I think that's great. Well, we will post all this information below, how to reach you, and then also the links that you just mentioned. We'll have it all out there for everyone to check it out.
Super. Thank you so much.
Nope, you bet.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.